Ferrari, the legendary prancing horse, a symbol of speed, luxury, and innovation, was on the brink of disaster, not once, but multiple times. Unthinkable, right? But it's true. Ferrari's road to success wasn't smooth. There were moments where a single misstep could have sent the company into a tailspin. But what were those mistakes, and how close did Ferrari come to losing it all? Stay tuned, because today we're diving deep into the 5 biggest mistakes that almost killed Ferrari, and trust me, you don't want to miss number 5. Ferrari's story begins in the early 20th century with Enzo Ferrari, a man whose passion for racing was matched only by his ambition. Founded in 1939, the Ferrari brand grew from its humble beginnings into an empire that dominated not just the racetrack, but also the luxury automobile market. However, the journey was fraught with peril. Ferrari may be a giant today, but there were several key points in its history where everything could have come crashing down. Some mistakes were driven by ego, others by financial oversight, and a few were simply the result of technological miscalculations. Let's rewind the clock and look at Ferrari's most significant blunders, starting with a decision that almost derailed their entire Formula One legacy. The first near-fatal blow came in the early 1960s, when Enzo Ferrari's management style led to one of the most dramatic mass resignations in automotive history. Ferrari's technical team, including legendary engineers like Carlo Chiti and Giotto Bizzarini, walked out in 1962. Why? It all boiled down to internal friction. Enzo Ferrari's wife Laura was heavily involved in the company's operations, and her influence didn't sit well with the engineering team. Ferrari's stubborn refusal to keep her away from the business escalated the situation. For Ferrari, this was disastrous. Overnight, they lost the technical minds that had propelled them to victory on the racetrack. It could have been the end. How could Ferrari compete at the highest level of motorsport without a world-class engineering team? But miraculously, Ferrari managed to stay afloat, slowly rebuilding its team. It would take years to recover from this loss, but this walkout was a close call, one that could have ended Ferrari's domination in Formula One before it even truly began. Enzo Ferrari was a proud man, stubborn to the core, but by the late 1960s, Ferrari was in financial trouble. The company was facing mounting debts from its racing and road car divisions, and Ferrari was on the brink of collapse. To survive, Enzo made a deal with Fiat, selling them 50% of Ferrari in 1969. At the time, this seemed like a lifeline. Fiat's investment would provide Ferrari with the resources needed to continue racing and developing cars. But in the long run, this deal nearly destroyed Ferrari's identity. Fiat's involvement began to dilute the brand as the focus shifted away from racing towards producing more road cars. This meant that Ferrari was losing its status as a boutique racing car manufacturer and becoming just another luxury car company. Enzo Ferrari realized the mistake too late. Though the deal saved Ferrari financially, it almost killed the brand's core spirit. Ferrari's racing heritage was at risk of being overshadowed by mass market production. In 1973, the oil crisis hit the global economy hard, and Ferrari wasn't immune. With oil prices skyrocketing, demand for gas-guzzling performance cars plummeted. For a company like Ferrari, which thrived on producing high-performance fuel-thirsty engines, this was a nightmare. Ferrari's road cars, designed for speed and luxury, were suddenly seen as impractical, and sales took a significant hit. Enzo Ferrari, known for his refusal to compromise on performance, found himself in a dilemma. Should Ferrari tone down its powerful engines to meet the changing market demands, or stick to its core values and risk losing customers? Ferrari's stubbornness in the face of market realities almost caused the company to collapse. While competitors began exploring more fuel-efficient engines, Ferrari resisted for too long, almost becoming a casualty of its own ethos. We've already seen how Ferrari's internal conflict, misguided partnerships, and refusal to adapt to market conditions brought it to the edge of disaster. But believe it or not, the biggest mistakes are yet to come, and they involved some of Ferrari's most iconic cars. Get ready, because mistake number 4 is a shocker. In 1987, Ferrari launched the F40, celebrating the company's 40th anniversary. It was fast, it was aggressive, and it became one of the most iconic supercars in automotive history. But there was a dark side to the F40 story that almost crippled Ferrari. The F40 was an engineering marvel, but it was also absurdly expensive to develop. Ferrari poured an astronomical amount of money into its creation, betting big on its success. The problem? The F40, while celebrated for its performance, wasn't exactly only practical, it was designed for the track but marketed as a road car. It had no frills, no radio, no carpets, no comforts. While enthusiasts loved it, the wider market wasn't as enthusiastic. The production costs soared and sales didn't meet expectations. Ferrari was in serious financial trouble once again. The company's gamble on producing the ultimate supercar came dangerously close to bankrupting them. By the 1990s, Ferrari was riding high, with iconic models like the Testarossa and the F355 gaining massive popularity, but success came with a price. Ferrari's expansion into road cars was accompanied by a dip in quality control. Ferrari's cars during the 90s, especially in the early part of the decade, were plagued with mechanical issues. Engines overheating, faulty electronics, and unreliable components became synonymous with Ferrari ownership. For a brand that prided itself on performance and precision, this was devastating. Ferrari's reputation began to suffer. Car enthusiasts began to see Ferrari as a brand that charged premium prices for unreliable vehicles. Sales started to slow, and Ferrari's financial health was once again in question. If Ferrari couldn't fix its reliability issues, it would lose its loyal customers, and perhaps the entire company. These 5 critical moments in Ferrari's history could have ended the brand we know and love today. Each mistake brought Ferrari to the brink of disaster, whether it was internal conflict, financial miscalculations, or a failure to adapt to market demands. Yet somehow, Ferrari survived. But why? How did Ferrari, despite all the odds, pull through? The answer lies in Ferrari's resilience. Each time the company faced collapse, it found a way to rebuild itself, whether it was through the genius of a new engineer, the release of an iconic model, or a shift in business strategy. Ferrari learned from its mistakes. Eventually, it wasn't always easy, and the road to recovery was often painful, but Ferrari's determination to remain at the top of the automotive world was unwavering. However, this begs the question: what would have happened if Ferrari had made just one more mistake? Could they have survived another crisis, or would it have been the end of an era? Even today, Ferrari is not invincible. With the rapidly changing automotive landscape, electric cars, stricter regulations, and new competitors, could Ferrari face another crisis soon? Are we seeing the next chapter of Ferrari's battle for survival unfolding right now? If you want to hear more stories about the rise and fall of the world's most legendary car brands, make sure to subscribe and check out our other videos, because this is just the beginning.